Sorry, is this on? Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you get your coffee from earlier?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I got it. Yes. It's been a minute.
He's plugged in, guys, in the back room. Okay.
There's a bit of a delay, but it's okay. All right.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Hedera HashCast. I'm your host, Jake, and today I'm joined by our very own HashGraph enthusiast, Brandon Davenport. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing good. I'm looking out my window. I just got a severe thunderstorm alert here. We're out here in Ottawa, Canada, but the sun is shining upon the Hedera community. I've missed being on Hedera shows talking about Hedera. I've been very busy doing other exciting things, and I can't think of anyone I want to talk to more, to be honest. So,
well, thank you very much. Now, a little behind the scenes. I like to give a show meta update usually at the beginning. I've received some feedback regarding my previous two interviews, and I take constructive criticism very seriously. So this time I won't spend the first few minutes of the podcast making bad jokes. I will be saving them for later.
Oh. Okay. See, I used to do that on my show, and I never got that feedback, and maybe that's why I had to shut it down. I don't know. So good feedback.
That might have been exactly why. So, Brandon, sir, this is a serious question here. Tell me a little bit about how you currently fit into the Hedera community. We'll get into your past later, the dirty laundry. But for now, how are you currently fitting into the Hedera community?
I'm fitting in quite nicely. I always have. We've got we have a little extra elbow room these days, but it's been very exciting. I think that I've been very fortunate, to have one of the coolest experiences in kind of a blockchain community or whatever. I mean, I sit on the technical steering committee with Lehman and all those amazing folks on the Hyro technical steering committee. I've just been able to get my hands on every aspect of this network, and folks mostly know me right now as I'm at HGraph. We talk about data, AI, all that good stuff that we've been doing. And that part of the journey for me has been like so eye-opening and incredible, because when you go multi-chain, when you expand outside of blockchain, especially as we look at this industry completely transforming with AI and how everything interacts, I've been fortunate enough to work on a lot of the things directly with the people directly that I used to talk about a lot on my show, right? I remember reading headlines going, oh, they're doing a crazy proof of concept with real world asset type things, moving across chain and all this stuff. And it's like, that's what we've been working on and all those different exciting kinds of things. And so recently, I'm going to be I'm stepping into an advisory position at HGraph because, and this is a theme with me. Like, I remember when I kind of hung my show up, it was basically, I want to be where I can do the most important work, right? And when I started at HGraph 2.5 years ago, that's what it was. I mean, when we talk about just the work that we've done in Hedera, when we talk about the network being decentralized and stuff, when I started at HGraph, we were struggling with NFT mints. There was a lot of issues in regards to how we can get data from the network, all those types of things. And I think that, Hedera and beyond, the work that HGraph has done is like a core pillar of Hedera's decentralization, running bare metal servers, everything from the bottom up. Like, that's the way that you do it. And then, of course, all the AI stuff and everything. So where I'm at now is I look around and where a lot of folks see like problems, I always kind of see opportunities. There's a great quote. I don't know if it was like the founder of High Hotels or whatever it was, but like problems are opportunities and work close, right? And I've got that same kind of feeling right now where I really just want to see what's going on. What are people building? What's changed? I do feel a cyclical element to the industry. I feel a cyclical element to the Hedera community, and also too with HGraph scaling. I think that it's about going broad right now. I think that it's been a while going deep on so many different things. Now it's time to go broad and bring those innovations. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, and this is a really standard thing in the space. And part of the purpose of this too is like bringing value to HGraph, all those different types of things. Still working with those folks, Tyler, Brett, Fenton, like the whole team, just absolutely incredible. So that's really what it is. And it's just, I think it's just kind of the way I do things. I just continue moving through and trying to support as I go. And this is kind of that next chapter. And I think that it's just incredible to have the support from Tyler at HGraph and the whole team. And it's just, I'm just excited. And folks are going to see more of me on the timeline. And I want to do things that I really love to do. And through the experience, I've realized there's a lot of new stuff that I love to do, essentially. So that's kind of where I'm at. Brando's back out loose on the timeline, essentially, TLDR.
Thank goodness, because, oof. I mean, not to get too meta with it, but it's been rough. It's been rough on that timeline.
Oh, it's been rough? What's going on? What's been going on in the Hederas?
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this. There's this big square with a bunch of lines. The lines have been going downward lately.
Really?
Have you seen this? Have you heard of this?
I'm just going to look now. Hold on. I haven't looked at this in 2.5 years. I think
colloquially it's called a chart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little concerning, the verticality.
Okay. Right. Well, it's up today. We just hit 7 cents. So it's not all
7
bad.
cents is 7. That, last time I checked, it was at 20 cents. 7. Excuse me.
But what, like,
a lot has changed.
I know, but the big question here, maybe for you, is like, and maybe where my brain is at, is like, isn't that the case for the whole industry? Like, is this a Hedera thing? Is this an industry thing? I think that's where a lot of people's heads are at.
It's definitely an industry thing. The unfortunate aspect is Hedera's community is not an industry community. It is very much Hedera centric. So you don't get the same kind of outside exposure. I mean, a lot of people go through, oh, I went to my first other chain. Mm-hmm. And they look around and they're like, huh. If it's a new chain, they're like, hey, they're like hitting the milestones that like we hit previously, and it's panning out very similarly. And if it's an old chain, they're like, oh, they already did all that.
Oh, gotcha.
And we're just getting to it, huh? And, that's an important perspective. But a lot of people don't get to that point because they signed on and they're still here. And, it makes it tough because when the whole industry is negative, they're like zoned in on Hedera. Oh, my, what are you guys doing? What aren't you doing?
Right.
So it's been a little negative recently, but more concerning, it's been a little boring recently. That's the scarier part.
Right. You said something interesting. We'll get to the boring part soon. Hopefully we don't contribute to that here. We'll try our best, folks. But you mentioned that like we're not an enterprise community. What the hell is an enterprise community? How do we do that? What's going on? Like what is this is this the new term?
No. I just mean that this is a lot to unpack. Didn't know you're going to turn the whole interview on me, but
I mean, I'm slipping back into old ways. Sorry, but that's my question. What's an enterprise community? How do we make this community? Maybe the community needs to change, or who knows what's going on.
We started as more of an enterprise community. If you remember, most of the people were like, I saw this thing on a YouTube video and they're talking about
Mike Maloney, Secrets of Money, Part 8. Let's go. Shout out.
Bike Baloney. I love Bike Baloney. And he's saying this is going to be an enterprise network. And I remember when Saucer Swap came out, people were complaining about the name and the theming. They're like, excuse me, aliens? Okay, that's not very
Cows?
serious.
What's that? Moo?
It's not very serious. Saucer swap. I mean, there's alliteration, but why not? Why not something like oblong rectangle?
True.
Gray spheroid is a possibility you guys overlooked. So we used to very much be, we're going to only focus on whatever press releases or partnership announcements Hedera pops out. And then very slowly, most of the community is, oh, we really are retail. Retail pays the bills. That's us. We're going to do DeFi. Maybe it hasn't panned out for us, but we're DeFi folk now. Enterprise, come on. And now it's kind of like, people are finding out that DeFi is going to change. Hedera was late to the DeFi party. I don't think anybody can argue that. And maybe we're pivoting towards, focusing on HBAR as a stock and being more enterprise focused again. And maybe it's not as many press releases, but hopefully it's, more use cases. A lot of stuff's been coming out. I mean, if you could tell me any more about that big old document concerning the large US collateral trial, I mean, I saw the HGraph logo on there.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing is like, and this kind of goes, I'll chat about that. So this kind of goes to what I think is really important in this space. And like, and I was joking with Brett about this at HGraph. It's like being there, being in the room, attending is like 90% of it right now. Because like you said, it's like everybody's scurried off. Maybe things are boring. Things are kind of winding down. There's a reason that like Apple and Microsoft were founded and were successful in the 70s during probably one of the worst economies ever. It's like, there's a great Paul Graham quote, the founder of Y Combinator, where he said, the technology train leaves on regular intervals, right? And takes time. And I mean, people just leave the train before it goes and it empties out. And if you kind of hold on and stay present, you might end up with a car all to yourself. Right. And so I think that showing up is most of the thing. And you can kind of see the results of that. So with the money market fund, pilot group and stuff like that, that's about HGraph attending, participating in the conversations, and both gathering knowledge, but like when you, like, logos do matter. And like when you see a startup that emanates from an ecosystem branching out into others, touching on all these other parts, like these are like the positive signals that we need right now, because it does hit different, right? Like if you were, for example, to see like a, Microsoft logo or something there, or if you see like an HGraph or like a Hashpack logo on something like that, you start to get a little more excited. And so I think that, when we talk about like an enterprise community, I think you kind of hit it there where it's like, what we're really talking about is trying to figure out how do we convert a lot of these really great projects or startups in this ecosystem to, ship outwards these innovations to become successful companies, all these different types of things. That's hard within itself. And so I think that like, something differentiating that Hedera has potential for is like to be the network where it's not just, oh, these big logos are part of this network or whatever. It's like, oh, things are emanating from this network. There's success in this network. That's always been a struggle, I think, in the blockchain space. I think it's why, foundations and grant giving played such a big role. And I think that like, as hard as that is, I think that that's like the harsh reality, but also the opportunity, which is like, you can't just keep, putting spokes on the wheel and doing all these things. You got to actually start getting some motion. You got to start actually starting to see more things like this happen. And so, I think, it's just a logo on a PDF, but it goes a long way because it's not a logo. It's a logo of a company that people in this ecosystem especially have been cheering on, rooting for, believing in, seeing grow. Like that's a real thing. That goes back to like some of the great startups of our time is like they it's really exciting to see those types of things. We had that same excitement with Hedera, when they took out the Libra ad or whatever in the newspaper. It's like stuff like that. There's a bit of that spark. And I think that works both for retail stuff. It works also for enterprise stuff. How do we kind of get more of that? And I think that's where that feeling comes from, is maybe being a little stuck. Things are a little quiet, not enough to go around. So I think that's kind of my thoughts on it, and kind of like, that's why that stuff's important.
I'll take the logo in the PDF. It's a lot better than the Google Cloud press release that everyone and their mother has done.
Dude, PR Newswire.
Give me logo in a PDF all day. I mean, I was really excited about it, and I got a lot of pushback when we talked about it, because they're like, oh well, we have pilot fatigue. We've seen a lot of pilots, and I'm like, guys, I have seen you go ape for press releases that were glorified nothing. Like, just like, have you heard of email? Gmail, we use it. Yeah, partnership.
That's another harsh reality, is like, when these large enterprise use cases take off in the blockchain space, it's not like there's not going to be a proof of concept that precedes that. It's like there's always going to be a proof of concept. We're just realizing that, like, the hit rate on these, maybe on this particular network, is we actually don't really know what low or good is. It's still a relatively new industry, right? So yeah, it's just one of those things where I think it just comes down to fatigue, right? Like morale and fatigue. Things will continue marching on, but how do you get that motion that benefits everybody? And it brings us right back to the price of HBAR discussion. That's something that helps everybody, that has been a very taboo subject up and down the ecosystem, but that's the most enterprise thing you could talk about, in my opinion. It lifts up everything. So
I will agree with you. I personally, this might be a little controversial, I would like the price of HBAR to be higher than it is now.
Very interesting. I've heard a few people say that, actually. So maybe not as hot of a take as you think, but
well, I'm with a lot of the greatest minds of my generation. True. To be honest. So maybe we all came to that conclusion. I definitely came to it first, previous to everyone else, but I do stand by that I would like the price of HBAR to be higher. I will say though, obviously if number go up, people would be happier. Outside of that, universal truth. I have seen, it's been very sleepy in the community. I have seen an uptick, and it's not just because I started doing some more things, making content and doing X spaces and stuff. I have seen an uptick, and strangely enough, some old faces started coming back. And you might ask, what was the catalyst? At least for a few of these people, they heard about the Bonzo exploit. That's right. That's what got them back.
Interesting.
And not necessarily to point at them and laugh or anything. Just that was enough of something going on to like, oh, okay, let me see, let me check in, let me see what's going on. And to me, that made me happy, seeing some old people come in, because I don't know how you've been changed by being stuck in this cryptographic time chamber that we're all in, but it's really hard to leave once you get stuck in. So I'm like, okay, let's take the numbers. I'll take the drama numbers. Oh yeah, get him in that honeycomb,
dude. Well, I mean, look at my wife is like, you're going all silver fox, got like gray hair and stuff now. I mean, like, I think in this chamber, it's like the back rooms we age like double the speed. So that's facts. But what I was going to say is like, when we, let me think about this for a minute. When we look at that situation with Bonzo, it's kind of like those, I used to say this a lot on spaces and stuff and on my show, where I think the best time to judge a company or a team or a project is like when things are not going well, right? And that's really when you see whether there's that professionalism, whether there's that upfront communication, transparency, those different types of things. Bonzo being in borrowing and lending and DeFi on Hedera, like if that's not the definition of like being on the tip of the spear and taking the blows for an ecosystem, I don't know what is. But when they have these fumbles, you always, the ecosystem, I think as a whole, and this is true for many projects in this ecosystem, the ecosystem emerges stronger than it did before, not just because it's like, oh, we figured out some patch for the exploit or something. It's like, to your point, some unexpected things happen where people come and check in and they're like, not coming with a negative energy. They're kind of like, oh, there's a pulse here. There's a blip happening here. There's something going on.
Don't worry, there is a lot of negative energy as well.
Good. Okay, good. But what I was going to say is, I think that that's also true for this space. And I think also too, something else to keep in mind is like, if you want to talk about crazy like knife fighting and stuff in blockchain, it's like, just look at the AI space. Like that's on a whole other level, and it's overflowed overnight into everybody's lives and everything. So I think it's just the nature of things. I think again, it's like fatigue and morale. It's like, if you can't bring some of that enthusiasm and energy, then I think you start to definitely get cautious and stuff, and you kind of miss out on some of those opportunities. I think that it is important to maybe it's a bad saying, but like any news is good news, or any headlines, bad news is still attention, or whatever it might be. There's a little bit of that, but you just got to get stuff happening. You got to get stuff moving on chain. And I think that there's headlines, there's stories, but we've seen this happen time and time again in Hedera, where you turn a negative into a positive. You figure out how to transmute the energy into something else, but then it's like, where do we go from here? How do we fan these flames? How do we grow this? And that's the struggle,
So, we're talking about you coming out of the curtain, coming from behind the curtain. You're working behind the scenes on some important stuff. So how difficult has it been for you to be kind of behind that curtain for what, 2 years you've been working at HashGraph, or sorry, HGraph?
Yeah, HGraph. Yeah, 2.5 years. So when I say been behind the curtains, I mean, really it was like, I really hit the pavement on the product side of things last year in the fall, because that's when kind of the light bulb went off. And just for a bit of context, so HGraph, one of the products that HGraph offers that everybody loves, especially in the Hedera ecosystem, but they also, HGraph also has full Ethereum support. There's 16 different networks, but there's a GraphQL API, right? And it's a different type of API than maybe, let's say, like a REST API or something, right? An API is how you get data from a system. This particular one allows you to give it any shape you want, get any data you want in a request, versus a traditional API where it's like fixed menu, only certain things. So people loved that. And the biggest problem that our customers had, the most support requests we had was, how do I write a query, right? Because to get the data, you've got to instruct the system for what you want, and you write that in like a GraphQL query. And that's a whole thing. Like, a lot of people don't know how to do that. It's a very technical thing. And so I kind of put together a weekend project where you could kind of ask ChatGPT, and it would kind of connect to all our stuff, and it could write a query for you. This was like a while ago, maybe early 2025. But that was like support requests, no more. Everyone was good to go. And that's kind of where I really started to pick things up, because we saw, okay, AI starting to get really usable. That's when everyone was learning kind of like, oh, it's the context you give it. It's all these types of things. So I was doing things like working with the team and launching and building the MCP server, which, everyone can now, use Claude and ChatGPT to get Hedera network data, or from all these other networks like Ethereum and stuff. Worked on an agent, built out a bunch of different stuff, worked with a bunch of different client stuff. But it was really kind of the last, I would say, 8 months to a year where it was really kind of behind the scenes. And I would say, yeah, it was tough. I mean, being at a startup, pushing that hard and shipping that product, I mean, that's tough, but you learn a lot, especially if you're working with like really passionate, really smart people that really drive you. I think that was one of the, that's the biggest strength of HGraph. And so coming out of that, I think that, having learned so much, having done all these things, I think that there's more that I want to do. I see so many opportunities around, but also I think that there's ways in which I can now apply HGraph's technology into so many other folks' stacks and different things. There's a lot of success there, though. So I think it's like it's just changing things up, having some wiggle room and moving things around. But I think that a lot of people go through those phases in this industry where you really have to go hard. You got to go heads down. Their telegram goes a little silent, but I kind of always get a little excited when people do that because you kind of know that something's coming around the other side. And as much as we're, whining a little bit here about the Hedera ecosystem, one thing you can't argue is that it's sticky, right? And so you always come back like, here I am.
I love when things are sticky.
Tell me about it. I was at the movies seeing backrooms and I get up and here's the thing. You get up, you start walking down and I was like,
you gotta love
sticky
it.
Theater floor. Oh, something so great about that. But yeah, that's, it's good to be out of the woodwork.
I mean, it's good to have you out of the woodwork. Do you think we'll ever get our HashGraph enthusiast show back?
I've been thinking about a lot of things. HashGraph enthusiasts, what was that? Like 146 episodes, years and years. Every week. I only missed a couple episodes, one being for my wedding. And
I guess you can't have a perfect record.
I know exactly, right? I was like, God damn it. But, I think that, and I started that show on Clubhouse. You remember Clubhouse?
No.
There's a 500 or 1,000 person HBAR community on Clubhouse somewhere. Rest in peace. And that's where I started the show, the weekly show on Clubhouse. It was like this during the pandemic.
What's
it was
Clubhouse?
Like this, dude. Okay. Oh my God. Quick aside for anyone watching, feel free to fast forward 5 minutes, but I'm just going to tell you what Clubhouse was, dude. When the pandemic started, Clubhouse was an app where you go on it and you join these little rooms where it's just circles of people and you can raise your hand and you talk. So it probably sounds like Twitter Spaces, right? This was the first one, right? This was the app that everybody copied. And so when Twitter Spaces launched, that's when I moved my show to Twitter Spaces, right? So I was 50 episodes in by the time Twitter Spaces came around.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it was crazy.
Had no idea. I missed what, half the content?
I think I uploaded the early episodes. I downloaded all the Clubhouse stuff. I think they're somewhere. They're somewhere in the ether. You can find them somewhere. You can listen to me talk about coupons or something. But
did you get good viewers? I mean, goodness.
Well, dude, it was the only game in town. Like when you talk about collaborative audio live streaming, bringing people up on stage, having listeners, that kind of stuff. That was the only app. There was nothing else like it for a year. So it was you could do numbers on that app, right? So, the first 5 episodes of my show, I probably had 5 listeners, which to their credit, they were listening. They carried through all the way. They followed me the whole way. But eventually, yeah, Clubhouse was pretty sick, dude. They're still around. Clubhouse is still around. So maybe check that out. But yeah, when it comes to a show, doing a news show is really hard. You have to spend a day prepping. There's a lot of research. Sometimes you get things wrong. While you're doing the show, you got people messaging you and being like, hey, why'd you say this? Or why'd you say that? It's it is a lot of pressure as well. You have to be incredibly impartial. I used to run a 13 editor news publication when I was in high school. And I always was very journalistic integrity, you know what I mean? Can't have sponsors, blah, blah, blah. So it's not an easy thing to do a show like that, but I do miss it. I don't know if I'm going to do HashGraph enthusiast per se, but I have been watching a lot of really good, whether it's finance streamers or different things like that. And basically it's a great format. You can do stream of consciousness. You have your camera down here, your screen up here. And I'm like, what if I just interact with people and read the news together? Let's watch an episode of HBAR Bowl. Let's watch an episode of HashCast. Let's react to stuff. Let's share some thoughts. Let's do the traditional streamer stuff. Easy peasy. And then just like open source it. Be like, anyone can just download the full episode, clip it up, content, like whatever. Maybe I'm talking about your thing, or maybe, I'm reacting to someone's thing, or maybe I'm talking about some news, or people just they have a channel, or they have a X profile or whatever, and they just want some content. They want to put some things out. That's, I think, a type of creator that can be beneficial for ecosystems, because you can just be a bit of a content pillar for people and give everybody permission to say, all right, take the thing, and if you're doing your own thing, you can always rely on me to be here at this time, and you'll have this thing. And I'm in a fortunate position to know about all this stuff, but here you go. And hand over that content for people, kind of de-silo it a little bit, and just make it a little more ad hoc. Like if someone wants to call in, do an interview or whatever it might be. So that's an idea, and I'm toying with, because I just think that I do like doing live stuff, but I'm kind of like, is me like then like producing it and doing clips and putting it on podcast or whatever. It's like, is that just like putting it in a, like, it's Brandon D silo, or all the stuff I'm seeing with all these great streamers out there? It's like, or is it just open sourced and like everybody can like pick at it and like grab their stuff and have the resources do what they got to do? Like sometimes it's hard enough when you see a clip, for example, if there's a show where they talk about something your company's doing and you want to post it to your feed. It's like, how do you download that video on LinkedIn or X or whatever? And then how do you get it over?
There's extensions. You can install an extension and basically be like, there's a feed of a thing, and get it.
I do that all the time. Or you just get you just get the episode delivered to you. Just, there's the file, do what you want to do. So that's something that a lot of communities do that I'm interested in. It's kind of like,
if you do that and people make free clips, sign me up, baby.
Yeah. Dude,
put me in the newsletter.
Dude, that's really kind of what I'm kind of like having a little moment where I've been in media and stuff like that. Like I've been on, you can probably find clips of me on like public access cable shows and stuff like that, doing interviews and stuff. But like, I think that's something that I want to try that I've never done before, which is just that open sourced approach to a show where it's like, I'm not delivering it per se. It's just like, I'm doing it live and then shut off the computer. It's your problem now. And just a bunch of content that I'm not putting out myself per se. It's just kind of like open source more so. So
I'll take it. I'll take anything. For a long time, it was just the HBAR bowl, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was just the HBAR bowl. And then up until
in
like
the beginning,
recently,
there was light, and then there was HBAR bowl.
And then there was HBAR bowl. I'm going to be talking to him next time.
It's a legend. I was on a recent episode of his chatting about HGraph, and like, again, like it goes right back to what we were saying, how sticky this ecosystem is, how dedicated this ecosystem is. Like there's no stopping that, man. I swear to God. Legend.
I'm a little trepidatious about the interview with him because he's very, very knowledgeable, and he's fairly no nonsense.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of the mirror to that. I'm not knowledgeable, and I'm mostly yes nonsense.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm worried it's gonna, like throwing ice in a pot or something.
It could be incredible.
Is that bad?
I don't know.
Is that
it
a bad
could be
reaction?
incredible. No, it could be incredible.
Combining bleach and
I'm picturing the guy that like has on his stove, he has the like boiling oil, and then he's like throwing in the frozen fries, and it like blows up with the flames and stuff. So that's a great video. It could be amazing. It could be amazing and iconic. So I'm hoping for the best. I think it'll be great.
He's got such a long history. I mean, my point being, like, he's kind of, as far as content, right, he's the through line, and a lot of people really don't like him, I've found. He's my co-host along with Ryan Solomon from Ginfinity, who's also been one of the big content pillars for the Hedera community on our little weekly Twitter space. And I found out like a lot of people really don't like him. I don't really understand it. He's been one of the only people making videos talking about Hedera stuff for years. I feel like you kind of owe him a little bit. Oh, well, he maybe got money at some point. How much? Because it couldn't have been that much.
Yeah, dude.
It couldn't have been that much. I don't know how he's stuck around, to be honest, through all the highs and lows and buffaloes. He's still kicking it. And they're like, oh, well, you can justify it however you want. Like he still had to do it. He still does the work. He's still zoned in on what's going on in the ecosystem. He knows all the names of all the people. I can't do that. I can't do that.
I know. He's like an encyclopedia. Also, too, it just has to be said, his thumbnail game is out of control. Like, out of control. But, like, here's the thing. This guy used to, like, captain, like, massive ships of, like, crews of, like, 300 people and stuff. And, like, I mean, I know this. Like, do you think everyone liked me when I was doing my show? You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're doing
well, hold on a second. Tell me the worst experience you've had with someone, because I bet I can beat you with like 5.
Oh, the worst experience I had with someone. I don't know. Immediately in my mind, this is the thing with me too, is like it all kind of like blurs together because I've got my show, but then also like then memories come in of like being in a band and playing so many shows at like festivals and stuff. And it's like, it all like mushes together. I think for me, it's like, if you're doing anything of any consequence or impact, you're going to have people that like don't like you. And I think that like one of the reasons why HBarBull is like still kind of so forceful in this community is like, he kind of gets that. I think you get this too, where it's like, so many people will just be like, complain about this or complain about that. But there generally is like a lack of consistency with some of the haters, or as the kids would say, ops, I guess these days. It's just so random. I always, and on the other side too, when people compliment you and tell you you're amazing, it's all kind of just mostly just off the cuff, random stuff as well. I really try to pay attention to the stuff that people like say over and over and over again, good or bad. And it's like, oh, okay, then there's some kind of feedback from people. But yeah, I think honestly, like the guy doesn't buy into the noise, but also like I have a tendency sometimes to like back off of things, or like I'm not a person who thrives in conflict and stuff like that. He can take heat, man. And it's like, I don't know, we like, you need people like that in an ecosystem. And like, here's the other thing too. Again, it comes back to the HBar discussion. If HBar was up, there probably would not be an issue on the spaces. You know what I mean? It's like when morale's down, when things are thin, it's like we just have a tendency as people to just kind of like get up in arms about stuff. I think it's unavoidable.
People definitely hated me when I came out with Grelf, way more than justified. I'm just gonna. It's not everything. People have chilled out so much that I feel like everyone has forgotten.
You gotta win them over.
I have gotten multiple death threats. I have gotten several different people making memes with my real face of me doing heinous things in an attempt to like get rid of me. I discovered on everything's messed up with CoinMarketCap with Hedera for some reason for tokens, but I discovered randomly there was a guy who really hated me on the Grelf page for CoinMarketCap, and every single day for months he would post about Grelf negatively, just like made up crazy stuff with 3 different alt accounts, and would like vote with like a VPN like negatively on every single day for months. And I like discovered it 3 months in, and I'm like, what is going on? I reported the accounts a few times. There was enough like data that they got removed, but I'm just like, what did I do?
I just realized something, dude. You got me thinking like, and I gotta say, none of this conversation is planned, but this is so serendipitous where it's like, I think we're coming full circle here. And I think it's like, what you're touching on here, I think is what we're talking about, in the Hedera ecosystem, but like through a different perspective. And what I mean by that is like, when we talk about Hedera and we talk about like, oh, there's this Bonzo issue and there's these maybe negative things happening. But like you said in that example there, people come out, but they're not necessarily coming out with a negative energy. They just kind of want to know what's going on, right? Like, what's going on? Who's this Grelf guy, right?
It was definitely a negative energy with that guy.
Okay, but let me finish with this thought here. So
okay,
when people see that kind of stuff, right, it does send a signal. Maybe not that guy per se, but other people will see that and they'll be like, dude, what's the hell's going on? And so I think it's like, maybe it's like a same type thing, right? When we talk about H Bar Bull, it's like he's getting a lot of negativity coming out. Maybe he's got a lot of, again, ops out there because he's moving and shaking and he's like top dog when it comes to content. It's like, that's in some ways that's motion a little bit. That's like, that's 100%. The definition of it. And so I think that like looking at it through that lens, we're talking about that with the Hedera ecosystem too. And I think that like, fighting fire with fire, it's like, if we're fatigued, if there's maybe a lack of morale, like, is there some new well of energy we can come at it from? I don't think necessarily it's like, I love my haters type thing, but it's like, there's something there. Like we're hitting a common thread here.
Well, I think there was a portion of time fairly recently where a lot of the stuff on Hedera X, right, that's about HBAR Hedera, a lot of the stuff getting views and getting engagement was negative. Mm-hmm. And people's immediate takeaway is this
quick, one of my most.
All right, did we finally remember someone?
Holy jeez. No, I remembered myself. One of my most viewed pieces of content. Remember that one where I was like all red in the face, like sweaty. I think I just got back from a run or something. I'm like in front of my house, like on my phone. I'm like, the karate combat thing or whatever. That's exactly it, man. I've been on both sides of this.
But like, people love an online kerfuffle, and the immediate takeaway is that's not putting our best foot forward. It's like, okay, valid. Yeah, it's a negative thing, but who are you competing? Right? Are you competing? Why is, people saying a negative thing getting the most engagement? Because there's not a lot of other positive stuff out there, and it's not always Hedera's job. You are part of the Hedera community. Okay. You don't have to always be passive. It's not always their job to like make things for people to read. Like, you can do that. And it's like, oh, well, nothing's going on with the news. It's like, was it ever? We've been here for 5 years. How many like hugely massive newsworthy things do we have? And how long did it take in the news cycle? Like, nothing. You can make news out of anything. You can make content out of anything. You can teach people old things, because there's so many people coming in this revolving door that don't know anything. Like, I recently made like a tutorial video, like, this is how you make a hashback wallet. And it's like, everybody knows how to make a hashback wallet. I'm like, everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Dude, this is it. Dude, this is one of the biggest talking points for like in the music industry when it comes to like new artists and bands and stuff. It's like that old school, like, oh, so you got to play the same song 1,000 times night after night, blah, blah, blah. It's like somebody's hearing it for the first time tonight that'll become a fan. And if they don't have that hand reach out, that familiar hand reach out and pull them up, like, they're not going to have that same experience. And again, it comes back to the fatigue, comes back to the morale type thing. It's like, I want to be, as a builder, I want to be in a place in this ecosystem where I can provide people the same exciting experience that I had coming in, right? And it's like, where's the juice for that, right? And what were the really fun aspects about that? I can tell you some of it was like things not going right, or like something breaking, or whatever. It's all part of that journey, So it's like, what can we do to like continually improve that experience, but like let go of the idea that like everything has to be perfect or nothing can go wrong? Because again, with the music analogy, some of the best shows that I had the best time at and made the most money at and all that kind of stuff was shows where like a band didn't show up and we got to play for 2 hours instead of one. Power went out. something unexpected happened. One time at a festival, I got a hold of the remote smoke machine button, so I could do the smoke for the stage myself. So it's like when you have unexpected things happen, I think that's where opportunity comes in. I think that right now, the whole industry, but Hedera, like, I think we're like, I do get that feeling like you're on stage, power just went out, or like something's going on. It's like, you know, when you're at school and the power goes out, it's like, oh no, something's gone wrong. It's not good, but it's like exciting. It's like, what do we do now? We can do anything.
Yeah, it is exciting.
We can do anything. Right?
Do you remember when Hedera had to turn that big Frankenstein switch off and like shut the network off?
Dude. Yeah,
I was hyped. I was hyped. Dude,
I remember, and it was, and again, it's an elation because it's like, this is exciting. It's like good or bad, whatever. It's like, you know, deep down that like, it's just sends a signal that something's happening into the ether out there, and it ends up, I think you can rely on this ecosystem, the community, the builders, up to, you know, the governing council members, all those kinds of things, to take that, turn it into something positive and move forward with it. But like, I think it's fine. I think that stuff is okay. I think what's not okay is like, you know, the retreat, the de-risking, the whatever it may be. It's like, I think that, you know, again, you're at school, the lights have gone off. That means anything can happen. Doesn't mean that you can think of it like, oh, school's over. No, anything can happen now. You know, I think I have a little bit of that feeling in this industry, like in the AI space, the blockchain space, and especially in Hedera, where, and it kind of goes right back to the beginning of our conversation about problems and opportunities. It's very much, and maybe this is kind of what my gut is telling me, is like, lights went out. People are kind of, but you kind of can do anything now. You really can do anything. And I think just how do we get the energy to do that? Where does that come from? You know, so I think that's the question for me. What's the call to action? What can we do? You know?
Write a tweet.
Yeah, you could write a tweet.
Post on Discord. I mean, it's tough because it's a lot of it's psychology, a lot of it's the market. And yeah, a lot of people are tired, but you're here. A lot of you, even negative or not, have been here for years. So you kind of like us a little bit.
Dude,
don't be coy. You like us a little bit.
Show me a bullish H bar or something influencer that probably holds no H bar. I will show you a Hedera hater that's probably holding more H bar than anyone alive, right? It's like, for better or for worse, these people are not going anywhere, including me, right? And so I think that's settled at this point. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but what else could we do to get rid of people in this ecosystem? I don't know what else we can do.
Well, that weird guy on CoinMarketCap, I reported a lot. He did come back with a few alt accounts, but they were silenced again. And then, you know, he stopped for a while, I guess, because he realized, wait a minute, what am I spending like hours of my life on?
Right.
I don't even know if he even ever, like, it wasn't a disgruntled holder, right?
Did that guy have a name?
It was all alts. He was being too nasty to use his name.
Wow.
He wasn't even on X. He had made that like CoinMarketCap page like his domain for like letting out his aggression.
So he
never really understood.
He was like the landlord. He was like the duke of that.
He took over the Grelf page, and because nobody ever looks at it, including me, like nobody looks at the CoinMarketCap page for Grelf. I didn't notice for 3 months. So it's funny because he didn't really make any kind of impact, but it was obviously a more personal thing.
Gotcha.
I don't know about him, but you know, the people who are on X who are getting engagement, who are like, you know, active and negative, and they are creating content a lot of times. They are creating content. And if you're not going to, you know, get in there and make some kind of statement, just say something obvious to you out there in the world, then it's like, that's what's going to be the thing that goes forward. I mean, I'm working on trying to like get more content out there. It's you get what you give. It's tough because number down, but that's where the real work is, baby. Like it's not work
It's
if
where the
everything's all
opportunity is.
sunshine and roses.
Yeah, it's where the opportunity is, right? I mean, I talked about this on my show too. It's like, I don't know. I think it like if you're doing a crypto show, it's like sometimes I feel like it's more difficult to do a show like that in a bull market. Cause like sometimes I find myself in a bull market and again, I'm like, what do I talk about? Because it's like, there's so much noise and you have a whole different set of problems. And also too, everyone's kind of locked in and kind of on their journey. Right. And now we're kind of like, stuff's getting ready. Like it's not like this industry is going to go, oh, well, no more cycle this time. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a very cyclical thing. It has been that way since literally forever. This is the technology industry. And I think that the real winners, the real builders are like, again, going back to the Bonzo stuff, like that's a perfect example.
Sorry, Brady, for bringing it up more. Sorry, Brady. I've talked about it a lot, Brady. We were talking about it on my space today, and I saw the Bonzo account join towards the end. I'm sorry, Brady. It's just Hedera had scheduled a live stream at the exact same time my space started, so they were pulling people, and I said on the space like
get controversial.
You need drama. You need drama to get these people in. Otherwise, I was going to have like 30 people who tuned into the space. Like I might have thrown you under the bus. Oh yeah,
there. I've been there. My move was always just like just fall out of my chair or something like where there was maybe a chance I had like injured myself or something. That
definitely the fall out of the chair thing is a classic move. Classic. Have you kept up with the Streamer University thing?
Streamer University.
Never mind. Anyway, a lot of them do the falling out of the chair thing to be like.
I was kidding. That's a thing.
Look, I'm quirky.
That's awesome.
No, dude, literally, quite literally. Well, I'm so,
I'm made to do it.
The fake excitement is so high that.
Whoa. I was just about to say, bringing up Brady, I think that like, that's, if you want to look at, who I think that the type of people who I think are going to be winners in this space, right? And like maybe if we talk about like whether it's blockchain, Hedera, or whatever, people I know, it's like those are the folks that like when the rubber meets the road and then you're pushed further into the road and you're being scraped along the road and you're still communicating, you're still out there, you're still doing stuff, you're still participating, still contributing. It's like and also too with like very little light at the end of the tunnel. Right. I think that like,
yeah, I'm sure when that happened, someone didn't call him up and be like, don't worry, Brady, you're getting bailed out. Like Donald Trump wasn't saying like, we're bailing you out. It's going to be okay, baby boy. I'm sure there was at least a day where he's like, because I worked for a lending protocol, full disclosure.
Oh yeah, probably more than that. Like the first day, it's just kind of like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean?
We got exploited and, it was scary.
Yeah, it is scary. It is scary. Like these are scary times, stuff's going on. But I think that that's, when you look at that particular example, but there's many examples like that we've seen throughout the years on Hedera, especially now. I think everybody's kind of having their version of it, right? Whether it's running out of runway or whether it's, you've got other obligations or things are getting spread thin. There's an exploit, there's a whatever. It's like, if you can just stay in the game, if you can keep your head about you, it's such a like confidence thing. It's such a, it really leaves a big impression if you can still be audacious about what you're doing and building in public. And, when there is a lack of certainty, it's like, that I think is what this space is all about, right? That's not like, oh, a new ETF is on BlackRock or like, oh, a banker, they're doing this, a big banking RWA thing or whatever. It's like, it's the other side of that. It's the startup side of it. It's the grassroots side of it. It's like what builds character. It's all those analogies. It's like, that's the part that's like gets me up gets me going, knowing that everyone's in the same boat. And I think it's like, yeah, what can we do to continue that on? And that's kind of why I'm, making the decisions I'm making. I want to kind of get back out there again, is because it's like, I'm just trying to think like, where's the most opportunity? Where am I most valuable? And like, just listening to people, right? It goes back to the feedback type thing. I have a lot of people complain about me. I have a lot of people who love me. I don't pay attention to a lot of it. What I hear over and over and over again is like, hey man, you're really good at talking on the internet. I miss it, and right. So,
hey man, like you're so good at talking to me on my internet box.
Dude, I hear you on the internet and I love it.
Nobody ever says that to me.
I just said it to you when we started the show. We can roll it back the tape.
You have to be nice to me.
True. It's true. Everyone, please be nice to everyone. I think also too, it's got to be said. We could all just be nice to each other as well. It's not going to happen, but we all could, but it's not going to happen.
We can say it. Look here, I'll narrow it down for everybody. You don't have to be nice to everyone. Just be nice to me. I could use it. I could use it.
Or we just have a day for it. Like, let's just plan a day. I don't know. What does...
one day? No, I'm taking all the days.
Hey, everybody gets one day. We all know that. I was just going to say, if you're good, I would say next Monday, the 27th, I think we should do Monday, the 27th of July as just everybody be nice to Jake. And I think that's basically 27th Monday. That's be nice to Jake Day. And maybe everybody in the ecosystem can have a day where we're just, we gotta be nice to those people. Maybe the 28th is be nice to HBar Bull Day. Right. And then
we might want to do
Wednesday can be nice to me.
We might want to do some buffer days in between.
No, we've got a lot of people in the ecosystem. We only have so many days in a year. So we've got to start.
I'm just saying, like, get people ramped up, like.
There's no better time than the present. And
well, can then he go first then?
He could go first. And also too, remember, it's a non-exclusive thing, right? If it's HBar Bull, be nice to HBar Bull Day. I can be mean to you and you can be mean to me, right? So it still gives people the freedom and flexibility that they need. So I think this could work.
I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like one day, the rest of the day be terrible. The rest of the year be terrible. One day good. I don't know if that's what, I don't know if we should pitch that.
Everybody email into HashCast. We're going to be locking down days, first come, first serve, and we'll be doing a calendar and everyone will have to be nice to you for one day of the Hedera ecosystem. We'll have the be nice to me Hedera calendar. And on that day, no one can be mean to you. And that'll just be kind of the start. That's my plan. So
I'm getting the sense from these conversations that your time here in the Hedera community, you have not gotten more jaded, or have you?
Oh, jaded. I mean,
jaded.
I try to not get jaded, right? I mean,
but you have gotten more jaded, right?
I don't know if jaded's the word. I think that we confuse a lot of times being jaded with being burnt out, right? I think if I was jaded, I probably wouldn't have run for a seat on the Hyro Technical Steering Committee. I was just at the meeting.
Hyro, it's not Hero.
It's Hyro. It's Hyro because
this opportunity.
No. Very cool opportunity because it's about Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Hero is still cooler.
I know. It was taken. We couldn't do it, but
okay.
Anyways, but the thing is that when we look at that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be doing that if I was jaded.
I voted for you, by the way.
Thank you, good sir. If would I be jaded if I was grinding it out at a startup? I don't think I would be. So I think that I think like many people, it's like, I'm just a bit burnt out. I think we're all just a bit burnt out. I think that it's good to step back. You made a good point where sometimes when things are bad in the industry, we often look inward to our own network and we go, well, things are bad in Hedera. And when things are going really good in the industry, we often just look into our network and go, well, wow, Hedera is doing amazing. It's like there
we
is a
look,
bigger...
we look at our wallet and say, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we refresh.
Go, wow.
Ah.
We go, wow. I think a big problem with that too is like the fragmentation of data across chain. Hedera has always been a bit of a silo. That's a separate topic. But we're in a spot now, like everything's different now, for better or for worse. We're all a bit burnt out. Yeah, maybe some people are jaded. I think I'm more burnt out than anything. But I don't think being burnt out is a bad thing. It just means you worked really hard. And I think that what it means is like taking a minute to look around and kind of look for opportunities and kind of see what's happening. I did it, doing the show. I did it. I'm doing it right now. I've done it all throughout my career. You just kind of have to do it sometimes when you feel it. And so, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's a feeling. I've been in this ecosystem for a long time. Maybe
do you think you'll get out?
That's wrong, but
do you think you'll escape? Do you think you'll get out?
I had a dream about doing that a couple nights ago, but probably not. No, I mean, here's the thing. Let's get back to basics here. There's many hours upon hours of audio of me whining about this network and all these types of things. But when you stack it up pound for pound, what this network's capable of, what it does on a daily basis, the interest. Remember, I also have a unique perspective, working with a lot of enterprise stuff and multi-chain things. So it's like, this is a great network. This is a network destined to be in the top 10, top 5 networks, right? It is a fantastic network because, I mean, look at the beating it's taken. And like here, I'm only coming in deeper. People are only kind of coming out of the woodwork. It's like you said, people are coming out of the woodwork. They're checking it out. And everything's different now. HBAR is more accessible. A lot of the problems that we've had are taken care of and solved. We have some new problems as we progress through this journey, as the industry continually changes. You're going to have new problems, but for example, if we look at a lack of parity with EVM networks and Hedera. I was just on the TSC call this morning there was a hit proposal to bring some solutions to do that. Like, there is movement, there are things happening. And it's like, I've said this before, it's like every single network in the top 5 had to go through like fire and brimstone to get there. It's like, that's waiting for us, right? As this network continues getting further ahead, the air is just going to keep getting thinner. Stuff is not going to get easier, right? Like growing this is not going to get easier. It's like you said, there are younger networks that just don't last as long. They just putter out. It's still here. There's been enough that has gone right. But it's not going to get easier. It's only going to continue to get harder, which means that's why it's so important for us to get as much energy as we can from anywhere we can get it, and really make this a place where people want to find a future, like build a vision, start a company, do those types of things. That is an enterprise chain. That is a business network, right? It's like there's one story of enterprise adoption. And I think Hedera is starting to see some of that. Not every enterprise use case is going to be high TPS. Not every enterprise use case is going to be anchored to a public network. But there's also the story of enterprise creation, company creation, startup creation. I think that defines an enterprise network even more than enterprise adoption. And we've got players in this ecosystem that are starting to really see that success and can weather like crazy storms with grace. So it's kind of like we do have a lot going for us in bad times. So what do we do? I think that's why I said it's like just being at the table is like 90% of it. Just be on the show, make the tweet. Like you joked, like we could post a tweet, like post the tweet. We don't have a lot of energy to go around right now.
It's not that much of a joke. I mean, you don't even have literally to like make real words. Just slam on your keyboard.
At this point, some of the viral stuff I see on there, I'm like, I don't even know if there's a human involved or an AI involved. There's some kind of animal or some kind of error on a computer. And you don't have to do much to make stuff happen,
I agree. And I think that's a good ending point. I'd like to thank my guest, Brandon Davenport, for joining me. And hopefully this won't be the last time you see the two of us talking on the Hedera timeline. This has been another Hedera HashCast. Now, so do you have a favorite dinosaur? And no, you're not allowed to say T-Rex.
I wasn't going to say T-Rex.
Well, good.
I'm going to say the Diplodocus.